Hey, welcome to this month's webcast. We've been in a series where we've been talking about how do we do ministry like a missionary does ministry. We live in a world in which the church has kind of moved from the center of society to the outskirts. And that means that we have to start thinking about how we, as God's people, interact with people who don't know Him, interact with people who have grown up in this culture. And to do that, we need to think like a missionary. There's 4 roles then that we can hold. We can be a learner, we can be a servant, we can be a friend, and we can be a storyteller. Today, I want to talk a little bit about what it means to be a servant. I've been traveling some, and in those travels, I went to India. I went with Yorba Linda Friends Church, and as a part of their Global Freedom Initiative, they have partnered with the Dalit Freedom Network in order to build schools for Dalit children, the lowest of the low in the caste system. These are kids who don't have any hope. These are kids who grow up in the worst kind of poverty, worse poverty than we could ever even imagine. But once they have an education, once they have the opportunity to learn English, to learn several other languages, to learn a skill, their level of hope rises, and as their level of hope rises, so does their awareness of a God who loves them. Anyway, while we were in India, we had the opportunity to visit several of these churches. And one of the things that just sort of amazed me was how much they put themselves out to serve us. They made us feel welcome. They do little welcoming ceremonies. They would give us flowers. They would do skits and say thank you in a million different ways, singing songs, doing dances, everything you could ever imagine. It was just amazing. Then they would give us great food and refreshing drinks. They would make sure that in every way possible that we were well taken care of. They served us. And I thought to myself, how honoring that is. As a part of that, I began to think of the role of service and how Jesus thought about service. Jesus actually connected the idea of service with redemption. He said the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give Himself as a ransom for many. Service, redemption, connected somehow. And I began to think about how we could take the example of Jesus and even the example of these kids and put it into practice here. How could we become more service-oriented? I think the thing that hit me the most, and maybe the thing to take home, is that our service needs to be given without any strings attached. When we give without strings attached, it allows people to get a view of the true kingdom of God, just a little snapshot of what it means to be truly transformed by God's grace. Service given without any strings attached. One of the things we did while we were in India was we met with Dr. D'Souza, Joseph D'Souza. He's the head of the Dalit Freedom Network and working so hard to build these schools for these children. One of the things he pointed out to us is that in these schools, it wasn't only Christian kids who came, and in fact, the majority of these Dalits come from Hindu backgrounds, from Muslim backgrounds. And he said, we've made a commitment to these kids. We've said to them, we love you, and we love you enough to educate you. And in fact, we love you enough to educate you, whether in the end you ever convert to Christianity or not. Service without strings attached. As we walk into this holiday season, as you begin to think, how can you connect with the community around you? Take with it just that idea that whatever we do, somehow Jesus is going to come in and by His grace infuse our service with His love. And He's going to end up providing a redemption for many people, perhaps people that we don't even know today. So walk in to this season confident. Walk into this season with an attitude of service. Walk into this season expectant that God is going to take your service and use it for an amazingly above and beyond kind of experience for you and for the kingdom of God. Thank you for your faithfulness. Thanks for your service. God bless you. Have a great holiday.